Hi, I'm James Hartsell. Think about your future. What would happen when you retire from the military, or with the military cuts going on, you would lose your job? What would happen to you? Would you have to move back in with your parents possibly, or would you be like many of the homeless vets that are living out on the street? There's something that you can do to ensure that nothing like that would happen to you. What I'm talking about is a commercial driver's license. Today I'm going to talk to you about the commercial driver's license, what types of vehicles you need a commercial driver's license for, and then I'll talk about how you go about obtaining a commercial driver's license. I'll start out by going over the different classes of vehicles. Okay, you're going to have your Class A vehicles. That's going to be a combination vehicle. I'll give you a few examples, like a tractor trailer, one of my many props. Just your regular tractor trailer. It would also cover dump trucks that would be pulling a trailer. Some of the construction vehicles you see out there, not very good with the props, but if you got a dump truck and you're pulling on a trailer with a backhoe on it, that would be considered a Class A vehicle. Then you've got Class B vehicles. The Class B vehicles are simply going to be a dump truck all by itself, not pulling a trailer, a box truck, which would just be a big box truck, and then many of your buses, school buses, those are considered Class B vehicles as well. Then there is the Class C vehicle. That would be a vehicle that didn't meet the Class A or B requirements, but a vehicle that you were using to haul hazardous materials or to haul 16 or more passengers, including the driver. Now that I've gone over the three different classes of vehicles, I'm going to go ahead and explain how you would go about getting a license for those vehicles. The first thing you have to remember, in order to get a license, you have to test in a vehicle representative of the class of vehicle you're attempting to get a CDL license for. So if you want a Class A vehicle, when it comes to the time to take your road test, you're going to have to make sure that you have a vehicle that meets the Class A requirement. You're going to start off with a written test. Once you determine which type of CDL you wish to obtain, you'll start with a written test. There'll be a general knowledge test that everybody's required to take. It's a 50-question test, just over the general knowledge of a CDL. Okay, and then if you're going to have air brakes on your vehicle, you'll need air brakes. Take an air brakes written test. If you're going to go for Class A, you'll need to take the combination vehicles test. And then there are a few other endorsements that you can get depending on the type of vehicle that you're going to drive. You'd have to take those tests as well, and some of those would be the passenger or school bus test. If you're interested in driving a passenger bus or a school bus, you can get tanker if you want to drive a gas truck, doubles, triples if you're interested in pulling 2 or 3 trailers behind you, and hazardous materials, of course. Those tests would be required if you were going to attempt to get a license to haul hazardous material as well. Okay, once you pass the written test, you'll do some training if you need it, and then to obtain the actual CDL license, you're going to have to take a CDL road test. The road test, remember, has to be taken in a vehicle that's representative of the type of class vehicle you wish to obtain. You're going to start off, you're going to have to do a pre-trip inspection on that vehicle, where you're going to walk around the vehicle, point out the different parts on the vehicle, and explain what you would check all the items for. Okay, and once you pass the pre-trip inspection, you'll go into what's called the basic control skills. That's some backing skills you're going to have to do in your vehicle. You'll do a straight line back, a reverse lane change, and you can do an alley dock, and then a blindside parallel park. Once you pass those basic control skills with minimal problem, hopefully, then you go out and take an actual on-the-road driving test with a CDL examiner. That takes approximately 30 to 40 minutes. where they're checking you for the proper technique to operate the vehicle. And of course, make sure you don't run any red lights or stop signs, and don't fail to yield to anybody. And if you're driving a combination vehicle, tractor trailer, don't let those back tires on the trailer go up over a curb, because that would be considered an automatic failure. And once you've passed all three portions of that, the pre-trip, the basic control skills, and the on-the-road driving, you will be a licensed CDL driver. Now, each state's going to have some minor differences in the way that they test, but we are all run by a federal government program, so we are required to be fairly close to how we grade in every state. Now that I've gone over the classes of vehicles and how you obtain the vehicle, the testing you're required to take, I'm going to go into a special program that many states have for military personnel. It's called the grandfathering program. In my state, the state of Ohio, if you have 2 years driving experience, at least 60 days in the past 2 years driving a commercial motor vehicle, you can get not your supervisor, but the person above your supervisor. So if your supervisor is a staff sergeant, your tech sergeant in the Air Force could sign this form for you. You're going to take it in, you're going to fill out the information stating which type of vehicles and the weights of those vehicles, and that you've operated that vehicle at least 60 times in the past 2 years. If you've got that signed grandfathering form, that waives you from the driving test as long as you have no serious traffic violations in the past 2 years, okay, which would be speeding 16 miles per hour over the speed limit, any DUIs, hopefully that wouldn't be the case, or any at-fault accidents in the past 2 years, then you're going to be waived from taking the actual road test for the CDL. So you won't have to do that pre-trip, the backing, or the on-the-road driving. You'd simply go in, take the written test that you wish to have, and that you had experience driving. So, you know, if you're trying to get a Class A, but you only have experience driving a Deuce, then you're not going to qualify for the Class A. But if you've been pulling trailers in the military, out on the roadway, then you got 60 days in the past 2 years, we'll waive the road test for you. So that's something to look into. All you do is go to the Bureau Motor Vehicle site online, and you can download the study guide, and you'll be off and running to obtain your CDL. So I've gone over the classes of vehicles, the tests you have to take to obtain a CDL, and the special military provision, it's called grandfathering, that many of you could be able to use. So if you want to start to relax about your future a little bit, go ahead and use the experience you have and try to obtain that CDL. That'll be something you can fall back on in the event something bad would happen, and it'll ease your mind. You won't have to worry anymore, because there are many commercial driver's license jobs in the papers every day. Thank you.